So, hello everyone. At this stage, you guys already know how to take input, you know how to declare variables, and using that, hopefully, you are already done with the first 5 problems of assignment 2, which is basically the same as assignment 1 but Java code. So, anyways, from the 6th one, we have conditional statements. So, now we are going to take a quick look at how to handle conditional statements in Java. So if you look at question number 6, what it does is it takes 2 numbers input from the user, and if the first number is greater, it is supposed to print first. So let's take a quick look. So I'm assuming that we have taken input 2 numbers, num1 and num2. You know how to do that already. And here we have a decision box where we are checking if num1 is greater than num2. And yes, we have print first, which is of course in double quotes because we want the value first. And if it's no, there is nothing to do, so this will just be connected here via a connector, and then this goes to stop or end, whatever you want to call it, either way. So whatever was here before, we already know what to do, both in flowcharts and in Java code. So let's take a look at how we handle this conditional statement. So whenever we encounter a decision box that is a conditional branch, in other words, it's asking a question, and then depending on whether that value is true or false, we are choosing one path or the other. So for this decision box in Java code, we'll have to use the keyword if, and there will be a first bracket inside which we will put the condition. So num1 greater than num2, curly bracket open and curly bracket close. So this area is basically for everything that you want to do if this condition is true. So you can see that there is nothing to be done if the condition is false, so nothing else is required here. So if the condition is true, in this case we are printing out first. So what we do here for that is system.out.println first. So that would be the first one. So now moving on, in the second problem, what we have to do is, now we have 2 options. So if the first number is greater, we print first is greater. If it's not, we print first is not greater. So in that case, again, assuming that we are taking input 2 numbers and they're num1 and num2, and if we check the condition num1 is greater than num2, if it's true, then we print first is greater, double quote close. And if the condition is false, what we print is first is not greater. And then of course we connect these two using a connector, and then it goes on to end or stop. So now to represent this in Java code, again, when we arrive at the decision box, what we put is an if, and the condition goes inside the bracket, num1 greater than num2. And if the condition, the work to be done, if the condition is true, will go inside this curly braces, as we have already said. So this one will go there. So we'll have system.out.println first is greater here. Now if the condition is false, this branch will go inside an else. So notice that the else block is optional, because in the previous one where we had nothing to do if the condition was false, we omitted it. But there cannot be an else block without an if. So because this is tied to this condition, if this condition is false, then whatever we need to do, we'll have to put it inside this block. So this will go here, system.out.println first is not greater. So this is the area for the truth, that is if the condition is true, and this is for what happens if the condition is false. So hopefully this is all clear. So moving on to the next one, where we have multiple conditions. So in this case we have three options. If the numbers are equal, we print the numbers are equal. If the first is greater, we print first is greater, or we print second is greater. So we already know how to take input, assuming that the numbers, the variable names that we use are num1 and num2. So let's first check num1 equals num2 or not. Remember that we use double equals here. So then yes, we will print. So I'm going to just truncate the output. So just printing equal. So of course you have to follow whatever the question specifies or asks you to do. So if the condition is no, we check again. So let's check num1 greater than num2, and if this is yes, let's just print first to indicate that the first is greater, and if it is no, then let's go and print second. And then what we can do is we can use connectors to connect all of this together, and then this will obviously go to stop or end, or whatever you want to use here. Either way, stop, end, same thing. So moving on, if we want to do this in Java code, so once we arrive here, remember that we have just learned that we have to use if here. So for this one, we have an if. The condition goes inside the bracket, so num1 equals num2, and then we have a curly bracket open and close. That is the area for the tasks to be done if this condition is true. So we can see the task here is only print equal, so we will write system.out.println equal. So that being done, let's now take a look at what happens if it's false. So if there is no, we see this whole condition is inside the no for that condition. So we have an else block here because we have some work to do in the false part. And when we see and arrive and see here that there is another condition, what we do here is we put another if that is inside that else. So this condition will only be executed if the original condition, this in this case, is false. So now we have the bracket num1 greater than num2, the condition. And of course we need to erase this and move it down a bit. So we have the curly bracket open and close for this if, and inside here we will print system.out.println first. But notice that we have work to do if this condition is false. So there will be another else block. So notice that this if and else is inside that else block. So this is to be done if that condition is false. So here we have, so this one went there, and this part will come here. So system.out.println second. So for the rest of the problems that you have in assignment 2, it's all about conditions, combination of different conditions. So hopefully the discussion that we have here right now will help you to complete the rest of the assignment. If you face any problems understanding, feel free to contact me and I'll help you. So goodbye for now.